Alright, so I'm sitting here at 1 a.m. with a beer wondering if I overreacted or finally grew a spine. Figured I'd get some outside perspective before I second-guess myself into oblivion. I'm 30, work in IT consulting. Not a flashy job, but it pays well and I'm good at what I do. Been with my girlfriend Olivia for about 2 years. She's 28, works in PR and branding, always polished, always on. I knew going in that our social circles were different. Hers was all rooftop bars and networking events. Mine was trail running at 6 a.m. and weekend photography walks. Seemed fine at first. Opposites attract and all that. Last Saturday we were at this tapas place downtown with her core friend group, Brooke, Talia and Jonah. One of those spots where you pay $18 for 3 olives and everyone's taking pictures of their drinks. I was mostly listening, which is my default mode anyway. They were talking about some charity gala coming up, comparing whose plus ones had the best story to tell at the cocktail hour. That's when Olivia said it. Not quietly, not as a joke, just matter of fact while reaching for a croquette. I told the girls I might skip this one. They're all bringing their boyfriends and honestly, you're just not really impressive to introduce around, you know? Like when people ask what you do and you say IT consultant, their eyes just glaze over, and it's embarrassing me. The table went quiet for about 3 seconds. Brooke looked at her wine. Talia suddenly found her phone fascinating. Jonah just kind of winced. I didn't yell, didn't make a scene. For a moment, I just stared at her. And when I knew for sure she meant what she said, I pulled 2 20s from my wallet, set them on the table for my share and said, "Have a good evening," with the most genuine smile I could manage. Then I walked out. Olivia caught up to me on the sidewalk, already doing damage control. "Babe, come on, you know I didn't mean it like that. I'm just stressed about work stuff and it came out wrong." I told her I needed space to think. Drove home, packed her stuff that was at my place into 2 boxes, left them in her building lobby that night. Spent Sunday blocking her number, unfollowing her on everything. Then I sat down and made a list. Not a dramatic revenge body thing, just an honest assessment of where I'd been coasting. I'd been in a holding pattern for 2 years. Turned down a senior consultant promotion because Olivia wanted me available for her events. Stopped my trail running habit because Sunday mornings were for brunch with her friends. Let my photography equipment gather dust because you're always hiding behind that camera. And yet, apparently, I'm still an embarrassment. That ends here. So Monday morning I went for a run. First one in 18 months. Lasted about 20 minutes before my lungs reminded me I'm not 22 anymore. Didn't matter. Tuesday I signed up for a climbing gym membership. Wednesday I pulled out my old 35mm film camera and loaded it with Kodak Portra. Olivia's tried to reach me through Jonah twice. First time was she wants to talk and apologize properly. I told him I wasn't interested. Second time, earlier today, was she's worried about you and thinks you're having some kind of crisis. I'm not having a crisis. I'm just done being the boyfriend who's not impressive enough for her friends. Edit, didn't expect this to blow up. Reading through comments now, appreciate the support. A few people asked about the promotion. Yeah, I'm reaching back out to my boss about that senior consultant role. Position's still open. Update 1, 3 weeks later. Hey everyone. Figured I'd post an update since a lot of you seemed invested and your advice genuinely helped me see this clearly. So it's been 3 weeks since the tapas incident. I'm not going to lie, first few days were rough. You spend 2 years with someone and there's this automatic muscle memory. I'd pick up my phone to text her about something dumb, then remember. That sucked. But I stuck with the routine. Morning runs got easier. I'm up to 6 miles now and actually enjoy it again. The climbing gym's become my weeknight spot. Met a couple guys there, we spot each other and talk about nothing important. It's good. The senior consultant thing worked out. Had coffee with my boss 2 days after my last post. I was straight with him, told him I'd turned it down before for personal reasons that were no longer a factor, and I wanted to know if the position was still available or if that ship had sailed. He actually laughed and said they'd been hoping I'd come back around. Started the new role last Monday. Better pay, more autonomy, and here's the kicker. 3 days a week remote. I can work from anywhere with decent Wi-Fi. That remote flexibility got me thinking. I've been building internal tools for clients for years. What if I turned that into something? So I started a side project, SaaS platform for content management specifically designed for photography studios. Nothing fancy, just solving problems I've watched friends in the industry deal with. Launched a beta version last week. My buddy who runs a wedding photography business was my first tester. He liked it enough that he's paying me monthly for it, and he's already referred 2 other photographers. It's not retirement money, but it's 3 times what I used to make hourly at my old consulting rate. Oh, and I met someone. There's this design workshop that happens monthly at a co-working space downtown. I went because they were covering workflow optimization, and I figured it might help with the SaaS project. Aria was at my table. She's a freelance designer, does branding for small businesses. We ended up talking through the whole coffee break about how the venue coffee was terrible and whether Notion or ClickUp was better for project management. She asked if I wanted to grab actual good coffee sometime. We met up that Saturday. No dress code stress, no networking angle. She didn't ask what my job title was until like an hour in, and when I told her, she just said, "Oh cool, my website crashes sometimes, think you could look at it." Not because she wanted free work, she was joking, but it was just easy, no performance required. We've hung out twice since then. Nothing official, just feeling it out. Now here's where it gets interesting. Jonah called me yesterday. We'd stayed in touch. He's genuinely a good dude and wasn't really part of Olivia's core drama. He wanted to give me a heads up. Olivia's been posting a lot about her new boyfriend, some guy named Mason. According to Jonah, he's in venture capital or angel investing, or whatever the hell that means this week. There are pictures of them at gallery openings, fundraiser dinners, one where they're on someone's boat. Very much the impressive type I apparently wasn't. But then Jonah added something that made me pause. He said Brooke had mentioned to him that Mason's VC portfolio was kind of vague when anyone asked specifics. He name drops companies but dodges questions about actual investments. And apparently he's been closing a deal for about 4 months now that never quite closes. I didn't ask Jonah to dig into this. He brought it up on his own, and I think he was trying to warn me that Olivia might come back around if things go south with this guy. I appreciated the heads up, but I told him straight, I don't do reruns. Some people in the comments last time said I should stay angry, use it as fuel. But I'm not angry anymore. I'm just clear about what I want, what I don't, and what I'm not willing to compromise on again. Update 2 months from original. Okay, so I promised I'd update if anything significant happened, and yeah, stuff happened. It's been about 2 months since the rooftop tapas disaster. Life's been steady. The routine I mentioned before is locked in now. Sleep schedule's solid. The senior consultant gig is going well. Remote work is a game changer. I can knock out my deliverables in the morning, take meetings from my apartment, then spend afternoons building out the SaaS platform. Speaking of which, the photography studio management platform now has 12 paying clients. Aria and I have been seeing each other regularly, still keeping it casual, but it's the kind of casual that feels right. We did a sunrise hike 2 weeks ago. We didn't talk much, just walked and shot. Stopped for gas station coffee on the way back, and she said something that stuck with me. I like that you don't need to be on all the time. Most guys I've dated felt like they were auditioning for something. I realized that's exactly what I'd been doing with Olivia. Auditioning, trying to be impressive enough to make the cut. Anyway, that's the good stuff. Here's where it gets messy. About 3 weeks ago, I got a text. 2:47 a.m. Unknown number, but I knew who it was before I even read it. I miss your stability. That's it. 4 words. No hey, no sorry for being awful, just a statement about what she missed now that she didn't have it. I read it and went back to sleep. Didn't respond, deleted the number. The next day she called from a different number. I let it go to voicemail. She left one. Cade, come on, I know you're seeing this. I just want to talk. I made a mistake and I'm grown enough to admit that now. Can we please just get coffee? Still didn't respond. Then she tried going through Jonah. He called me sounding exhausted and said, "Dude, she's asking me to set up a meeting between you two." I told her that's not my circus, but she's persistent. "What do you want me to tell her?" I told him. "Tell her I don't date the past, that's it. Don't elaborate, don't soften it, just that." He did radio silence for about a week. Then last Saturday I ran into her. Actually ran into her, like physically almost collided. I was leaving my climbing gym and she was walking up the sidewalk toward the entrance. She looked different, tired maybe. Hair still perfect, outfit still Instagram ready, but something in her face had changed. "Cade, hi, I've been trying to reach you." I stopped because I'm not going to be rude for no reason, but I kept my gym bag on my shoulder, body language pretty clear I wasn't staying. "Hey Olivia, I got your messages. And you just ignored them. After 2 years together, you can't even have a conversation with me." "I did have a conversation with you. At a tapas restaurant. You told me I wasn't impressive enough to introduce to your friends." I took that feedback and made some changes. Conversation concluded. She did this thing where she touched my arm, old habit, used to work on me. I was in a bad place. Work was insane and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. "You're right, it wasn't, but I'm good now. I hope you're good too." I started to walk past her and she said, "It's falling apart, Cade." I stopped. Against my better judgment, but I stopped. Mason's not who he said he was. The deals, the investments, all of it, it's smoke. He's in debt, real debt. And I quit my job because he was launching this creator agency and I was going to be a partner, and now that's just gone. I need someone steady. I need you. And there it was. Not "I miss you." Not "I realized I loved you." Just "I need you" now that Mr. Impressive turned out to be Mr. Impressive debt load. I looked at her for a long moment. Part of me, the part that remembered the good parts of 2 years, wanted to help. But the bigger part, the part that had spent 2 months running trails at dawn and building something with my own hands, knew better. "Olivia, I'm sorry you're going through that, but I'm not your safety net. You chose impressive over stable. I chose to become both, but for myself, not for your approval. I hope you figure things out, but not with me." And I walked away. She called after me, but I kept walking. Got in my car, drove home, and called Aria, told her the whole thing. She was quiet for a minute, then said, "That must have been hard. You want company." She came over. We ordered Thai food and watched a movie. Didn't need to process it to death or analyze every word. Just moved on. Jonah texted me yesterday with an update I didn't ask for but probably needed to hear. Apparently Mason's whole VC thing was a house of cards. He'd been living off credit cards and borrowed money, name-dropping deals that didn't exist. The creator agency Olivia joined never filed business paperwork. It was just a website and a dream. Brooke and Talia have apparently distanced themselves from Olivia. Not in a dramatic cutoff way, just less invites, less group chats. Jonah said Olivia's been posting vague stuff about fake friends and people who only care about status. The irony isn't lost on me. I don't take pleasure in it. I really don't. But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't some validation in watching the whole impressive facade crumble while I'm over here just doing the work. The photography side project turned into an actual thing, by the way. Sold 3 prints last week from my trail running shots. Nothing crazy, $75 each, but someone paid money for something I created while doing something I love. That feels better than any approval I was chasing before. Thanks again for the perspective, Reddit. I'll update again if anything wild happens, but honestly, I hope there's nothing to update. I hope this is just the new normal. Final update 4 months from original. It's been 4 months since the "not impressive enough" comment that started all this. Figured I owe you all a proper conclusion since you've been following along. Life's good. Really good. The kind of good that doesn't need a highlight reel because it's just solid. I'm up to 10 miles on trail runs, climbed my first 5.12 route at the gym last week. Senior consultant position is locked in. The SaaS platform is at 23 paying clients now, and I'm hiring a part-time developer to help scale it. Aria and I are official. Not in a social media announcement way, just in a "we're exclusively seeing each other and it's easy" way. She met my parents last weekend and they loved her. But you're here for the conclusion of the Olivia saga, so here it is. 2 weeks ago, Jonah's birthday party. Low-key thing, just friends, no agenda. I brought Arya. We were having a good time, talking with Jonah about his new job when Brooke and Talia walked in. I hadn't seen them since that tapas night 4 months ago. They both did a double take when they saw me. I'm not going to lie, I looked different. Dropped about 20 pounds of useless weight, put on muscle from climbing and running. Haircut that actually fits my face instead of whatever I was doing before. Confidence that comes from knowing your own value instead of seeking external validation. Brooke came over first. Cade, holy shit, you look amazing. What have you been doing? Living intentionally, I said, and introduced Arya. Talia joined us, and there was this weird moment where they were both overly nice, complimenting my shirt, asking about work, telling me they'd seen my photography on Instagram. It felt performative, but I was polite. Then Olivia walked in. She looked smaller somehow, still put together. She'd never leave the house otherwise, but diminished, like the volume had been turned down. She saw me, saw Arya, and I watched her do the math. She grabbed a wine from the bar and made her way over. Jonah saw it coming and kind of positioned himself nearby, ready to referee if needed. Cade, it's good to see you. Hey, Olivia. This is Arya. They shook hands. Arya was gracious but not warm, just polite. Olivia looked between us and said, "You two look good together." "Thanks," I said, no elaboration. There was a pause. Then Olivia said, "Can we talk, just for a minute?" Arya touched my arm, not possessive, just supportive, and said she'd go grab us drinks. I appreciated that she gave me the space but didn't disappear. Olivia and I stepped to a quieter corner of the bar. "You look happy," she said. "I am. I messed up, you know that, right? I've spent months thinking about what I said to you and how I treated you, and I messed up." "I know you did. Is there any chance?" "No." I didn't let her finish. Not because I wanted to be cruel, but because letting her ask the full question would have been crueler. "Olivia, I'm not angry at you. I'm not holding a grudge, but I'm also not going back. You taught me something important that night. I was living my life trying to meet someone else's definition of impressive. And when I stopped doing that and started building a life that actually means something to me, everything got better. I choose people and community that value real things now, not titles or appearances." She looked down at her wine. "I miss you. You miss what I represented, stability, safety, someone who wouldn't embarrass you when the flashy guy turned out to be flash and no substance." I wasn't trying to be harsh, just honest. "You don't actually miss me because you never really saw me." She started to cry, not dramatically, just quiet tears. I handed her a cocktail napkin from a nearby table. "For what it's worth," I said, "I hope you find what you're actually looking for." But I'm not it, and I never was. I walked back to Arya. Olivia left about 10 minutes later. Brooke came up to me later in the evening, a little drunk, and said, "You know, you were always too good for her. We all knew it." I didn't respond to that. If they knew it, they didn't say anything when it mattered. The next morning, Olivia texted one more time. "Thank you for being kind even when you didn't have to be. I'm sorry for everything." I responded, "I appreciate that. Take care of yourself." Then I deleted the thread, and that's it. That's the end. I'm not posting much on social media, but when I do, it's just my life. Trail running photos, the occasional SAS milestone, shots from my film camera. Brooke and Talia like the posts sometimes, drop comments like "this is incredible" or "respect." Olivia hasn't interacted with anything. I heard through Jonah that she's taking some time away from social media and focusing on working on herself, which honestly is probably the best move she could make. Mason's completely out of the picture. Apparently there are people looking for him regarding unpaid debts, but that's his problem to sort out. As for me, I'm good. Better than good. I'm with someone who values the same things I do. I'm building something that's mine. I'm healthy, sleeping well, and I wake up actually excited about my days. Thanks for following along, Reddit. You all helped me see this clearly when I needed it most. Time to close this tab and get back to living. Peace.